the day, before the scheduled 11 o'clock takeoff, we talked with John Shattuck, a commercial airline pilot from Denver, Colorado, hired to fly this plane to Pier. Shattuck has had experiences like this before. Last April, he flew an aircraft off of Volcanic Mesa in southern Colorado. Like this plane, it was involved in a drug bust, and like this plane, it was a DC-7.
This airplane is the longest range commercial prop plane ever built. It's a DC-7C. And it never really got a good chance in commercial air service because the jets came into service just at the time that this airplane was being finally built. And these airplanes were basically used by the European carriers for the long Atlantic route. But these are terrific airplanes, high speed, 360 knots, and high altitude, very good airplane. It looks like it was probably a pre-planned landing spot. It's an excellent place to land and take off. There are no ditches or rocks or fences or any unusual terrain, and it should be no problem whatsoever. It's actually easier to land it here than on a runway. Look how wide this is and how long it is.
This particular plane is in good shape, probably better than many used in this type of operation. After a few minor difficulties in starting the cold engines, the plane took off about 1:20 this afternoon. Terry Cole, Eyewitness News, near Mobridge.
25,000 pounds of marijuana used to be inside that plane. According to Attorney General Mark Meyer-Henry, it was stacked about this high throughout the aircraft. The pot is now in Pier, and so is the plane. As the DC-7 prepared for takeoff from its resting place near the Missouri, there was evidence of its $18 million cargo inside. Do you feel that all the marijuana was supposed to be left here?
Again, that's just speculation. I don't know. It'd be quite a bit if you start figuring it out for the usage and the amount of potheads we have in the state. I would assume that if they left it all here, it'd be enough for quite a while.
Do you have a figure on how many potheads there are in the state?
No, I have no idea, but I assume that it doesn't exceed 10% of our population.
Does it seem to you that this plane was going to just be left here, or did the subjects involved know that the law was coming and they fled it? Or?
It would appear with the fuel aboard, if it's what we think it is, that it probably was not going to remain here.
On Monday, you said that you felt that you had reason to believe that the plane came from Colombia. You still have reason to believe that?
I have nothing that negates that, although it may have been in some other countries besides that as well. And we will be checking out the Panama connection, so to speak, to see where it came from. We know it's registered there and it took off from there. There's also information that's been in Costa Rica and other places, so we'll just have to check that out.
What happens to the plane when it gets to Pier?
Well, it's under our control. Actually, according to the statute, it's under the direct control of the Director of the Division of Criminal Investigation. It is now being held for evidence, and I anticipate that within the next few days we'll start an action to confiscate this airplane so that it becomes the property of the state of South Dakota.
And as the plane began its journey to Pier, one wondered if it was the first time an aircraft had taken off from this stubble field. Patrick Sitter, Eyewitness News, near Mobridge.